Hi, everyone. TJ Alls, I-45 now, and our final results in from our Galveston County entity elections, and our first formal declaration of the night. And we're going to bring him on now with us as well, and that is Craig Brown. Well, Mayor Brown, you're a little sideways. Can you turn your phone a little bit there so we can bring you on? Is Craig Brown reelected mayor of Galveston? Congratulations to you tonight, Mayor.
Thank you so much, TJ. Very honored to be reelected.
I know it's a tough race in there, but you got 54% of the vote, almost 55% of the vote in this election tonight. And there, how are you feeling right now with that victory and the support that you got from the community here?
Well, as I mentioned, very honored to be reelected. I'm really anxious to now. This campaign has been, I think, hard on everyone, and I'm really anxious now to focus back in on moving this city forward, working with some of the new council members, or one new council member, and working with the council to get back on and start addressing the issues that are important to this city.
Yeah, and when you talk about that, obviously, you know, William Schuster and Sharon Lewis, they were unopposed. They elected there. David Collins, though, has won re-election in District 3 there for you, and John Paul Listowski winning as well for you there. But, you know, obviously, Mikey Bouvier, he's going to be a new face on council there for you as well. And I should put Marie Robb also winning comfortably there. Mikey's going to be a new face on council there for you. I don't know how well you know them, but how do you see the agenda going forward now for Galveston City Council?
Well, I think having Mike Bouvier on council, he's going to be really a positive member on council. This is his first time to serve in an elected position, and really the first time to serve for the city in any capacity. So there will be a learning curve there, but he's really an individual that's really looking forward to getting into and getting up to speed quickly on this. This council, I think we got a great council now. There's a lot of issues that are still out there that we have not finalized. One of them is the Pelican Island Bridge that we'll be addressing here very quickly. And we're coming into budget time now, TJ. So this is going to be a time for us to really look at this budget with a fine-tooth comb, see what we can do to become more efficient, and that would result in lowering our taxes for the residents here as much as possible.
You know, this is a rough and tumble race, and at the end, it got particularly nasty. How are you feeling now? Because how do you feel? Reach out to those Roger Quiroga supporters, particularly, because to tell them, "Hey, I'm also your mayor at this time."
Well, I do want to say that to all the Galvestonians out there, and even those supporters of my opponents out there. I think the issues that we're going to be addressing here, more infrastructure improvements. We're going to be looking at short-term rental potential regulations. We're going to be, as I mentioned, looking at the Pelican Island Bridge in the budget. I think all of these particular topics will be of interest to all Galvestonians because I ran and have been serving for the last 2 years as my primary goal was to enhance the quality of life for our residents. And I think that rings true with every resident on the island here.
The other thing, just outside of the city council and mayor's race there, the Galveston ISD bond propositions all passed tonight, particularly Proposition A, which is the big one, the new all high. So how are you feeling about that? Because so much of what happens in any community is tied to the school district. How are you feeling about those tonight?
I was very supportive of all those issues. I'm so glad to hear that it did pass in the way that it did. I think it's going to be good for the community. When we talk about quality of life, many of the things the city controls, but the Galveston Independent School District really controls that big part of that, which is having a quality educational system on the island. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I think that'll just go hand in glove with what we're trying to do at the city.
Mayor Craig Brown, victorious tonight, re-election as mayor of Galveston. Craig, thanks for coming on with us. I know it's been a long day. I saw you out there working the polls with your wife and your supporters at the courthouse during the at the same time that the Cinco de Mayo celebration was going on. So it had a festive. It's the most festive atmosphere I've had around a polling location in a while. But congratulations on your win tonight.
Thank you, TJ. It's nice to see you, and it's nice to see you this afternoon, too.
Yeah, it's the same here. It's always good when I get to spend a full day on the island. I got to tell you, though, after the traffic hassles and everything else that we were so worried about, we had good crowds on the beaches today. We had good crowds come for the events today. And even the polling, they adapted to it and got it done before 11 p.m. tonight. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
Let's hope everybody still comes on down for Mother's Day tomorrow.
By all means, welcome.
All right, Mayor re-elect Craig Brown. Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate you coming on with us. I know it's been a long day. Have yourself get some good rest and celebrate tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right, Craig Brown re-elected as mayor of Galveston Island here tonight. So let's go ahead and go over the results from tonight. We're going to start at the top of the ballot that we had on our local end of things, and you heard me talk about Galveston ISD. And in those bond propositions, particularly Prop A, which is the big one, that was the one that dealt with building the new Ball High School and the like. That passed overwhelmingly, almost 61% of the vote. A big night for those, and coming in there today. And then we'll go on down the list. Prop B also. 56% of the vote there for Prop B to pass. Prop C, almost 61% of the vote as well. Prop D, 60% of the vote on the ballot. The one that was kind of the closest of all, and it did get a lot closer toward the end there because more people who were against it voted on the day of election, but still, Prop E passes with 52, almost 53% of the vote. Speaking of bond propositions, Hitchcock ISD, it gets its bond proposition passed with 52% of the vote. Santa Fe ISD, it goes down. And this one has been close throughout the night, and it was the day of election here. So Santa Fe ISD is going to have to, again, 2 times in a row now, a bond proposition has failed at Santa Fe ISD. The voters in Santa Fe, despite the proposals to say no tax increase along the way, it goes down 50. It was a close one, 1,392 votes to 1,307 votes. So Santa Fe ISD's proposition goes down after having a really good early voting return there, but absent mail-in ballots were against it by a 56% margin. And then the day of election, 58% of the margin there. That's going to be a tough one for Santa Fe because they just failed that bond proposition. And one of the things you heard from Dr. Kevin Bott, the superintendent, is they brought in folks who were opposed to the last time to try to get them on and to get them on board. But again, Santa Fe ISD, their bond proposition going down. District 4, Lori Carnes, the winner in Texas City ISD School Board. Lori Carnes to be joining the school board. That was a close one all night long, but 272 to 253. Lori Carnes defeating the Brian Thompson, the incumbent there. City of Bayou Vista, we said this early on. This was going to be an easy one to pass. This is just recertifying the vote of the sales tax proposition there to fund roads there. City of Bayou Vista, position 5. The winner there is Sam Bass with 158 votes to 118. Dickinson City Council, we've been talking about tonight, Fred Linton, really a 2-to-1 margin there for him to be elected. So we had to have the new faces there with Jenna Simpson and Fred Linton on the Dickinson City Council. Brett Aaronworth, the incumbent from Friendswood. We don't have the final numbers from the Harris County side, but Galveston County is going to dominate in this election, in this position here. Brett Aaronworth getting 61% of the vote. He was leading also in the early voting out of Harris County as well. So the incumbent, Brett Aaronworth, just talked to him by text a little while ago, and he's feeling pretty good on that election. Now, let's go ahead and go to the charter amendments. Most of these pass in Friendswood. Prop A passes. Prop B goes down there. Prop C is passed. Prop D passes. Prop E passes as well. And then Prop F, this is the charter amendments in Friendswood, passes. And then Prop G passes, and Prop H passes as well. Prop I, and then J, and then K. So all but one of the propositions of the charter amendment change. And that one, as you can say, that was the one about allowing them to buy property outside. That was just not going to have is going to have a tough time from the start. Again, you just heard Kirk Brown, the mayor, reelected in Galveston there. Sharon Lewis and William Schuster go along the way, and they are unopposed. David Collins, congratulations to Councilman Collins, winning re-election over Frank Maceo by a bigger margin the last time. Michael Bouvier, or Mikey, as we like to call him, elected to District 4 in Galveston County. Galveston, I should say, City of Galveston. John Paul Listowski, the incumbent, dominant force for him tonight, winning in District 5. And Marie Lobb, also dominant tonight in her re-election for the West End District of District 6 for Galveston Island. City of Hitchcock, Proposition A, it passes tonight. That was one just to allow their EDC to spend money on a sports venue. Likely out. We're going to see this happen out at the Blimp base. We'll be talking about that. So here, now we get into the city of Kemah. Teresa Vasquez, trailing most of the night, pulled it out on election day. And Teresa Vasquez re-elected at position 1 in Kemah there. And this election, I'll give you some more context in just a second. Then there's position 2, a dead tie between Jeff Thompson and Darren Broadus. Darren Broadus, the appointed to that position there. Robert P. Kelly had resigned from office. Darren Broadus elected in there. This race here was essentially the current incumbents versus the slate backed by Mayor Carl Joyner there tonight. And Teresa Vasquez wins. Then you have Darren Broadus in a tie. Now take a look closely there for Darren Broadus. Is that Jeff Thompson got 12 mail-in ballots. Broadus got 0. Then on the day, Broadus got the most votes on election day coming in there. But the difference comes, and also in early voting, but it's those 12 votes right there that came on a mail-in ballot that made it a tie. Now, we don't know about provisional ballots yet that are out there that would affect this race, so we're going to pay attention to that. But that one now is going to be heading to a hand recount, automatic, and we'll see how that goes from there. Position 3, Doug Meisinger, victorious over Sheila Thorne. Should point out, as I said earlier tonight, one of the reasons you don't see us do a lot of coverage on the Kemah Council elections is because Doug Meisinger is a business partner of mine, and with our Vinyl Draft podcast network and our Vinyl Draft radio investments and a couple of others. And because of that, just for ethics reasons, we have kept our hands off on that race there. But Doug Meisinger, winner, reelected Kemah City Council, and Isaac Saldana also reelected to position 5 there. Now, to point out there, what this means is that the slate there outside of the Darren Broadus race, the majority of the council now is going to be, what all intents and purposes, on the opposition of the mayor, Carl Joyner. Carl Joyner put in a lot of investment on those candidates to challenge there, and he comes out on the short end of that race. Lamar tax referendum. It was no contest all night long. The tax rate is going to be rolled back in Lamarck here. And now it comes to see if the concerns of council, that includes the mayor, Keith Bell, Kim Yancey on council, and others who trying to offset those who are voting for the rollback to say, hey, we're going to have to make cuts to the police force and stuff. What happens now to services in Lamarck if they roll back that, or if they can adjust their budget to actually adjust to what the tax rate is going to be? Santa Fe Mayor Bill Pittman, as we said, he had a dominant lead in the early voting. There was no coming back for Junior Leja, Fidencio Leja. Bill Pittman, elected mayor of Santa Fe, with 66% of the vote. Now we get into Santa Fe Council. And John Dickerson, 60% of the vote, avoids a runoff and is elected to council position, or place 4, I should say, in Santa Fe. Also in Santa Fe, it's Dana Marks. Russ Schroeder made a little bit of a charge, but Dana Marks been leading all night long. Russ Schroeder did real good on mail-in ballots for himself, but Dana Marks had a strong early voting record, and then only trailed a little bit on election day there. But Rusty Schrader, I should say, not able to pull that out. Dana Marks there. Dedrick Johnson, again, unopposed, but this is historic. Reelected as mayor of Texas City. And in doing so, not only he was the first black mayor of Texas City, now been reelected and establishing himself now at his section. This is going to be a full term for him coming in. And now for Texas City Commissioner at large, one incumbent goes down, one wins, and a new face on the Texas City Commission. I say new face. He was a commissioner once before, but not an at-large position. Abel Garza comes in now. But Thelma Bowie, again, gets the most votes. As tradition is in Texas City, the at-large commissioner with the most votes becomes mayor pro tem. She is mayor pro tem now. She got 42% of the vote. Abel Garza with 32% of the vote in this election here. Kevin Yackley, the incumbent, coming in third place. Mark Salinas, a newcomer in the city election, coming in fourth place there. But again, Thelma Bowie and Abel Garza on the way there. The other interesting race to watch, Texas City Commissioner Precinct 1. This one has been one to watch throughout the night, and we're going to have to see. Now we're going to head to a runoff here. And it's an interesting one because Gilbert Robinson at 35% of the vote, but DeAndre Knoxon pulls it out there and gets into that first place position at 37% of the vote. Ken Alexander had led after early voting, but the big difference coming in on election day, Knoxon worked the doors and got him in there, and that mail-in ballots as well, making the difference there. So there'll be a runoff there between DeAndre Knoxon and Gilbert Robinson for that race. Felix Herrera reelected, so is Dorothea Pointer. They were unopposed. And as we said earlier tonight, this was the first race we called. It was going to be an easy one. Jamie Clark, with almost 80% of the vote, reelected to district for there. Village of Tiki Island, I should say. Pardon me. Let me get a little bit of my cranberry juice. Sorry about that. Now, so the top three vote getters in the Tiki Island Alderman's race are the ones that are elected here. So Steve Cunningham led the way with 32% of the vote. That's followed by Hunter Neblett at second place with 165 votes. And then Gary Kaufman at 15% of the vote, but he had 90 votes. He's third place there. Those three are elected as aldermen in Tiki Island. We'll go ahead and go with the Baycliff Mud. There again, this is the three top vote getters. That starts with Tony Ponyer. We've got 116 votes in that election. Dale Patterson with 113, and then Don Rogers in at 93 votes. So those are the three elected to that position. San Leon Mub district, again, another through the top three vote getters go here. A lot of votes in this one, more than we're used to seeing in this. And so you go at the first place vote getter is Kelly Nelson at 339 votes, followed by Cheryl Bahina at 321 votes. And then it's Curtis Anderson Jr. at 311 votes. Those three are elected. Galveston County Consolidated Drainage District, position number 3, and it's Rusty Burkett winning that one. He was the challenger to Marcus Reeves and in that race. And so Rusty Burkett leading the way and winning that race, I should say. And we call this one earlier tonight, Keith Austin, the new face on Galveston County's Drainage District number 1. That is the Santa Fe area Drainage District. He beats the incumbent Daniel Wotina there. So congratulations to Keith Austin. Going into Galveston County Drainage District number 2 in there. That's the Lamarck area there. Wayne Hobgood, he's in there at 1,330 votes without having to worry about a runoff. 64% of the vote for him in that race. WCID number 1, that's in Dickinson. Ron Morales in that race there as the top vote getter at 347 votes, followed by Doran Rogers. And so those two are elected as the top 2 vote getters. Doreen Bridges, I should say. I said Rogers. Sorry, Doreen Bridges. They're winning. So Ron Morales, yes, it's the police chief, Ron Morales, and Doreen Bridges elected to WCID number 1. That's the Dickinson Water District coming in there now. And then the WCID number 12, that's Clear Lake Shores and Kemah. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. Clear Lake Shores and Kemah The top 2 vote getters are the ones who are elected to office there. It's Peyton Lumpkin, who is the top vote getter at 238 votes, and then Christy Thornton at 224 votes elected as well. Those are the top 2 vote getters for WCID number 12. That's Clear Lake Shores and Kemah. City of Bayou Vista, the mayor's position, Paula Eshelman, we called this one earlier tonight, victorious as mayor of Bayou Vista. So congratulations to those candidates there. Our Charlisa Gary is updating on our number side of things. We'll add those to the context of things. Now, we have been waiting all night for Harris County to get election day numbers in, and they have not come in yet. But I will go ahead and bring that up so you can see where we are on Harris County numbers. The races were falling out of Harris. The only final numbers we have at Harris County are Seabrook, and they ran their own election, so that's why we had those in. There's going to be a runoff position 1, and Tollett wins in position 3 there. But we'll start with Nassau Bay Mayor Phil Johnson. This is, again, early returns. That's mail-in ballots and early voting only. He had a comfortable 103-vote lead there over Mark Denman, the former mayor of Nassau Bay. A lot of controversy, got a lot of people into the race here. But right now, it looks like, Phil Johnson, barring a huge election day turnout, but we'll see what happens there. Will be elected mayor of Nassau Bay. City of Nassau Bay, position 2, Lucy Summer wins 53% of the vote. She had a 3-way race, voiding the runoff there. So Lucy Summer winning there. And then now we'll go into a runoff in position 4 in Nassau Bay between James Abbey and John Mahan there in that race. James Abbey, the famed Abbey family, obviously, there. James Abbey, 48% of the vote. He is the top vote getter. John Mahan, former council member in Nassau Bay, is in second place. But as I said, in that race, it'll go to runoff because no one got 50% of the vote. Michelle Weller, comfortable victory for her. I say victory. Hang on, let me back that off because we do not have election day numbers in yet. So again, we'll have to see how those numbers pull out. I misspoke here. Michelle Weller leading Matt Pryor, the incumbent here. But again, we have no election day numbers in from Harris County there, and in Webster too. Only 6 votes separating Lawrence Tosto and Chris Vaughn in that race there. The other 2 council members were unopposed and will be elected there. Also, I should point out that as I said, in Dickinson, Fred Linton is victorious, 2-1 vote there on those. So we're going to use the text version to update our Harris County votes and call it a night here tonight. But again, big news: Craig Brown reelected mayor in Galveston there. Then in Texas City, we see that the Thelma Bowie and Abel Garza elected the at-large positions there. Santa Fe ISD bond election goes down here tonight, but Bill Pittman elected mayor in the city of Santa Fe. And then all the Galveston ISD bond propositions passing tonight as well. We appreciate everyone joining us. Thanks to Charlisa Gary, who's been manning the data for the Galveston County elections for us here tonight. And again, let me just give some, this is editorial content for me, but I got to say it. Nice job from our Galveston County. That's a majority of our viewership, but nice job from that crew of the Galveston County Elections Office. They had to deal with a challenge today that no one anticipated coming until TxDOT announced yesterday they were going to block lanes down to 1 lane to get on the island. And while the traffic was a little bit better than it was when I went over early this morning, a great job by that elections office because they may have adjusted on the fly, had a lot of the boxes delivered to one location up in Lake City, and then drove them down as a group down here. And that really made the difference in making sure we weren't up all night long trying to get those results. And so a nice job there as well. Again, we don't have the final numbers, election day numbers, or what we're waiting for out of there. Clear Creek ISD. Let's see now, because we were waiting on early mail-in ballots, and those have not been counted yet in Clear Creek ISD. But let's go ahead and give you what we got without the mail-in ballots out of Clear Creek ISD here on 2 races. One It's because it's super, super close. 1 vote separating Jessica Sichka and Misty Dawson. We'd hope we'd have those in now, but obviously they're not been counted yet. While I'm on the line, I'm actually going to get a hold of the folks at Clear Creek ISD about when we're going to have those mail-in ballots counted here. I'm going to refresh the pages we're on here. I refreshed right before we came on. So a 1 vote difference between Misty Dawson and Jessica Sitka for District 1 here. And this one here is 1,056 to 1,057. Dawson with a 1 vote lead there. In the at-large position B, the incumbent, Scott Bowen, is in first place with 3,663 votes. Christian Garcia at second, 2,681 votes there. So that one, we're still waiting on the mail-in ballots. I haven't gotten an answer back from Clear Creek ISD about the ETA on that. So again, 1 vote separating that in that District 1 race, Misty Dawson with 1 extra vote over Jessica Sika. But again, the mail-in ballots and mail-in ballots are pretty big in that Clear Creek ISD area as well. So we'll be seeing how that turns out on the election here as well. And so we'll see how that pulls out. So anyways, we will be seeing how those turn out, and we'll go ahead and maybe stall a little bit here and see if I can get an answer here. But again, some big nights, big election nights here. Again, a tie vote in Kemah. That's going to be up to if we see any election vote. So yes, I just got word from Clear Creek ISD. It could be, quote, a couple of hours before we see the early vote tallies done. Not early vote, mail-in ballot tallies done. So while early votes in, election day totals are in, we do not have the mail-in ballots done yet out of Clear Creek ISD. That's going to make a difference there. That's going to one that we're going to be following up on. Thanks to Elena Polson from Clear Creek ISD. One of the things, folks, I want to point out to you is we keep really good contact with all the election officials in our area. We really focus on that to make sure the information we're getting is not only just the numbers that you can get online, but explain to you how results are being handled, when they're going to be in, at timing, things that came up like today with the traffic situation out of Galveston that could have affected the delay in results coming out there. And I just want to talk about my staff, how good of a job they keep up with this stuff to keep that up. Because if it's not for like my Charlie Segari, my love, one of the first employees we ever had at this company, who works part-time for us now, actually, but she's out there keeping tally on things and updating numbers through us as well. But congratulations to all the victors tonight, and to those made the runoffs, as well as I said, in Kemah, Darren Broadus goes into an exact tie. So we're going to have to see how that one works out itself. I think either way, what we're going to see there is a hand recount at some point along the way as well. Thanks to everyone for joining us here tonight. We appreciate your viewership here tonight. And again, I big appreciation to our Galveston County election officials who did a stellar job getting us out of here before 11. As people have known this, there's this long ongoing bet between me and whoever is in charge of elections in Galveston County. It's been going on for years. In of cigar and bourbon, one way or another. We got to give it to each other. Tonight, I think I owe Dwight Sullivan and his staff chocolate and bourbon. That's how the bet goes. There's chocolate for the folks in the office, and between Dwight and I, that. So along the way, so we have some fun with that. But they also hard workers, and I do want to commend them because they had a huge challenge for that traffic situation today. Figured a way to overcome it. And as we still talk about that, Harris County still has no new numbers in. I'll double check. No, still no new election numbers in from Galveston County, Harris County, I should say. So we're going to have to update that throughout the night. Thank you all for watching. I'm TJ Alds, I-45 now. Make sure you're joining us again in November. We're going to be having, we have League City elections coming up, and as well as the elections for the statewide offices and state rep and districts coming up. Should point out we are working on for the runoff and the state rep district 23 race, and we hope to have a forum there. So far, we have not gotten Terry Leo Wilson to commit to that forum. We hope she'll join us here. She's part of 2 different forums that we did with partnerships with the Pachyderm Club and the Galveston Regional Chamber of Commerce. We hope that she'll join us here along the way for that one. Patrick Gursky has already committed to any form that we do there in that runoff election. And we're going to be focusing on that now that we've got these entity elections over with tonight. I'm TJ Alts. Thank you for joining us. I'm TJ Alts, I-45 Now.